Hello everyone. Today I'm planning to take up verb as my grammar topic. As in my previous lecture, in my yesterday's topic, I dealt with parts of speech, wherein I talked about all the elements of grammar. Okay, and there I dealt with all aspects of grammar, which is which uh, which is an important element in writing a correct statement, which helps in writing a correct statement. Okay, fine. So today I'm going to take one single aspect or element from the parts of speech section, and that I'll speak here or I'll deal here in a elaborate and extensive way. So today I'm taking up verb as a topic. So here I'll be sharing my screen and here. Okay, fine. So the very first and the foremost thing that comes here is verbs. What verbs are? Very important question. What verbs are? And as noun is an important aspect in grammar, in the same way, verb also is a very important element in grammar. Verbs basically, they are action denoting words. Verbs are words, and if we walk with the definition of it, it goes as verbs are words that shows performance of an action. In other words, they are doing words. Okay. So this is the definition. But when you observe it in our day-to-day work or day-to-day life, we are performing one or the other action each and every time. We are sitting on the chair. I'm sitting on the chair and delivering this lecture. I'm having words with you. I am talking. I'm performing an action. You all are listening to me. You all are performing an action. I am thinking about something. I am performing an action. But when I'm thinking, this action is a bit different. It's not a physical action, it's mental action. And I'll be dealing with that mental action also. Let's concentrate on what verbs are. So, verbs are action doing words, which denotes that what action is being done by a noun or a pronoun. What action a noun or a pronoun is performing. Verbs very much decide the tense, the moods, and active passive voice also. Now, come to different types of categories of actions. How many categories of actions are there? How verbs are being categorized? These are not types. These are categorizing. How actions are being categorized. Okay. कि हम जो एक्शन है उसको कैसे कैटेगराइज कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. सबसे पहला आता है फर्स्ट इज योर फिजिकल एक्शन. ठीक है. अब फिजिकल एक्शन में क्या आता है जिसमें आप फिजिकली इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. जैसे मैं बात कर रही हूँ तो यहाँ मेंटली इन्वॉल्व भी हूँ, लेकिन अगर मैं सोच रही हूँ तभी मेंटली इन्वॉल्व हूँ. लेकिन जब मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ तो आई एम फिजिकली इन्वॉल्व इन इट. यू आर लिसनिंग टू मी, सो यू ऑल आर फिजिकली इन्वॉल्व विथ मी. You are playing, so you all are physically involved in an action. So I have taken these words as example. To swim, it is a physical action. To write, it's a physical action. To climb, It's a physical action. Where your physical body movement is involved, that is a physical action. Next level of action is the mental action. So what is this mental action? It is action, but we are not showing it through our physical gestures. Okay, these actions are shown or they are assumed. These actions are assumed. हम उस चीज को assume करते हैं, हम सोचते हैं पहले से कि ये काम वो पर्सन कर रहा होगा. अब जैसे कि कुछ भी बात कहने के पहले आप थोड़ा सोचते हैं, है ना? तो what is that? You are thinking. So that is your mental action. You are thinking in your minds and then speaking. That is not a physical action. Thinking is not a physical action. We cannot physically see your thinking process. We can just assume. हम जब सोच सकते हैं, हम बस सोच सकते हैं उसे कि yes, the person is thinking about something. Guess. Okay. Next word is your guess. You can guess about anything. That is not a physical action. That's your mental ability. That's your mental action. You are performing that action within your mind. It's not involving any of your body movement. To consider about things. Okay, you consider about things. So all these are mental activities, mental actions, which you perform, but it's not physical. It's not visible to us, but it comes under the category of action. State of being. To be, to appear, to exist. Being. This is also something to be felt. It's not to be seen physically. Next, let's, through these examples, things which I was speaking just now will be more clear. Your physical action. When I say, she sells fruits and vegetables. So here, sells becomes the action. What is she doing? She is selling fruits and vegetables. Doctor wrote the prescription. So what the doctor did? He wrote a prescription. So wrote is the action. He is writing and that is physically seen. Tom bought a jacket. Here bought. Bought, physically you are involved in an action. It can be seen. So bought is the action. So these three examples shows the physical action where our body movements are involved. Now come to mental action. What mental action is? She considers the job done. She's considered in her mind that the job which was assigned to her, the job which was given to her, जो काम उसको दिया गया था, she has done and dusted. She has completed it. Okay. So that is in her mind. She is thinking it or she's considering about it. Jane guessed the right answer. Jane guessed the right answer. Guessing comes from your mental activity. It's not something to be seen physically. You are guessing, it's in your mental. That, yeah, this is right, this one is wrong. It's a mental activity. But an action is being performed. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. I'm thinking, I'm involving my mind. I'm not involved physically. Next is your state of being. Ostrich is the largest bird. So here, largest. Okay, it's a state of being. Yes, ostrich is a largest bird. It is a fact. It was a joke. It was a joke. It is a state of being. Yes, it's a joke. I am. It's my existence, my being. I am here. My presence itself is an action. To exist something, that something is existing here. कुछ है, अस्तित्व है किसी चीज का. So these are all state of being. But these all, physical action, mental action, state of being, everything comes under the category of verb. Action denoting words. So now I'll just go with the explanation of what I just dealt before. In the above example, where I was talking about she sells fruits and vegetables, word sell, wrote, bought, all express physical actions. Okay. Then in the second example where I was talking about mental, considers, guessed, thought, all express mental actions. In the third example, where I was talking word largest, joke, I am, express, they are state of being, state of existence. Okay. So now I'll be taking verbs expressing the state of mind, what exactly it is. A small but extremely important group of verbs do not express any activity at all. As I told you before, that state of mind, these actions are being done within the mind. There is no physical involvement in it. Okay, so the most important verb in this arguably is to be, the form, to be forms. So I have also, I have just prepared a table here where I have shown that with was subject in past tense, to be form, how it changes. When the subject is was, your past, in past tense, it becomes am. Present will be, future, it's not. Then when subject is you, with that we use where, are, will be. He, she, it. Second form, then it is past tense, we use was, is, will be. Then with we where, are, will be. With you subject, we use where, are, will be. They, where, are, will be. It means that with the form of verbs, okay, with the form of verbs, first person, second person, third person, according to the person, the form of verb to be changes. Okay, now we come to the very important section, types of verbs. Initially, I was dealing with categories of actions. Now I am dealing with types of verbs. Let's see. First is action verb, stative verb, transitive verb, intransitive verb, auxiliary verb, modal verbs, phrasal verbs, regular and irregular verbs. Now let's take them one by one. So the first one is action verb. An action verb expresses an activity that a person or a thing can do. It represents the physical action which a person can perform. For example, Rohan eats cake. Eating is something Rohan can do. So eating here, eats, this is the physical activity which is performing and we are able to see it. So this is the physical activity which he can do and we can observe it. The bear chased the salmon in the shallow rapids. Here the word chased is showing the action that the bear is doing. Now, stative verb. This verb expresses rather than an action. It is performing an action, but that action is in the form of expression. That action is being performed somewhere in your mind. A stative verb typically relates to a state of being, a thought or an emotion. Okay, so it's totally related to your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, whatever is there, because when you are, if you are having an emotion, that is also an action. But that action, when you speak through it, then that speaking is that action. But the expression which you are giving, that is in your mind. That comes from your mind. It's a stative. Okay, for example, I am at home. She believes in fairies. He feels elated. So all these like am, believes, feels, all these are what? State of mind. They express a state, a emotion, okay, a thought. They do not represent any physical action. Next is your transitive verb, a very important form of verb, because see, in the category of verbs, under the category of verbs, what happens that stative verbs is important. I won't say that it's not important, but we come across it sometimes. We do come across. But when like transitive, intransitive and all, very frequently we use it. Very frequently things use it. Transitive verb. Transitive verb is one that acts on something that it has a direct object. Okay. So transitive verb means that when an object, a subject has an object to show its action on, then it is a transitive action. When we have the opportunity, or when there is a scope कि एक सब्जेक्ट को हम दिखा सकते हैं कि वो अपना एक्शन किस पे परफॉर्म कर रहा है, तो देन इट इज अ ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. Okay, let's see. For example, I saw the dog. So here I is subject, saw is your verb, and what I am seeing the dog. So this is the subject, and here the dog is the object. So here we are having a direct object where we can find that what action the subject is performing, and on whom, on the object. Here the direct object is the dog. Take one more example. Rohan ate the pie. So Rohan is the subject here. He is performing an action, and on whom, on what he is performing the action? He is performing his action of eating on pie. So pie is here a direct object. Next, when I say the postman will give Sony the letter. Okay. When I say that postman will give Sony the letter, it means that the postman, he is the subject, and he is performing a direct action on whom? Sony. Okay. So Sony here is, so here Sony the letter. So here direct object is the letter. Sony is in the letter. Okay. So letter becomes a direct object. And just a specific note here, a direct object of a transitive verb can be found by finding a verb. Take a verb there and ask a question. What? ठीक है, जैसे कि मान लो एक एग्जाम्पल है कि so what did I saw a dog. What did Rohan ate? He ate a pie. Will give what the postman will give. Will give a letter. Okay, so in this sentence, when I say the postman will give Sony the letter, so postman is the subject, and what he will do, he will perform an action, and what the action will be on what will be the action? Will give what? Okay, we'll ask what question, on to what it is going to do, what action, and to on whom it's going to do. So it's going to give letter. Okay, fine. So transitive is clear. Now it comes intransitive. Intransitive is just opposite of transitive. Okay, here we don't have any object. Okay, and transitive and intransitive verb is one that does not act on something. There is no direct object. Okay, for example, when I say the rain fell, I cannot ask any question where it fell, on whom the action is being performed. Rain is performing action where? It's nothing mentioned there. So I will take it as a intransitive. Rain fell. It fell, but it's not mentioned that it fell on the ground or in the river or anywhere else. So it's not mentioned. There is no direct object. My throat hurts. So my throat, I'm the subject. Okay, hurts is a verb. How it is hurting, what it is hurting, these type of questions cannot be answered by the verb. Okay, so there is no direct object here. The cat sneezed. Cat performed the action. Whom, what, verb cannot answer. So there is no direct object where we can clearly identify that how a subject's action is being transformed or transferred. So now come to the next one. Next is auxiliary verbs. Very important aspect, because without an auxiliary verb, a verb fails to create its impact. It helps a verb to create an impact on a statement or a sentence. An auxiliary verb or helping verb, we commonly use it as helping verb, accompanies a main verb to help express tense, voice, or mood. As I said, they are helping verbs. So if I say, I am sitting. Okay, so sitting is the main verb, but the word am, okay, it is the helping. Here, it helps in giving an information about the tense, what I'm doing, or mood, or a voice, anything, I can take it. Okay, he is going. So going is the main verb and is your helping verb. It helps in forming a tense. The most common auxiliary verbs are to be, are, be, do, and have in their various forms. Here are some examples of auxiliary verbs. First, Lata has eaten all the pies. Now, here auxiliary verb is has, and it helps in expressing tense, like Lata has eaten all the apples. So it's a past form. It's helping in identifying the form of tense. Second, the table has been prepared. When I say the table has been prepared, here auxiliary verb has been helps to express voice. In this case, it is a passive voice. Then if I say, if he were to arrive in the next 10 minutes, we would be on schedule. Here, the auxiliary verbs were and would help to express mood in case of subjunctive moods. They express the moods of it. So basically, auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. They, along with a verb, main verb, they help in identifying or giving a clear-cut expression to a tense, a voice, or a mood. Let's move to the next. Next is modal verbs, a very important topic, modal verbs. First of all, when I say modal verbs, because I have seen this problem very frequently, I have seen this problem in pronouncing this word modal. Generally, you speak modal. No, it's not modal. It's modal verbs. Okay. So now let's move on to the concept of it. What modal verbs exactly are? A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb used to express ideas such as ability, possibility, permission, and obligations. Modal auxiliary verbs are can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. So modal verbs are also like auxiliary, helping verbs. Okay. For example, Rohan can eat a lot of pies. Here, can is the modal verb, which helps in expressing the idea of ability. Whose ability is showing? Rohan's. And what's that ability? Of eating a lot of pies. So here can acts as a modal verb, which shows the ability of Rohan. Next, Rohan might eat that pie before he gets home. Here, the modal verb might helps in expressing the idea of possibility. It's just a possibility, might. That it might happen that before that Rohan might eat that pie before he gets home. Before getting home in way coming from school, he might eat the pie. So it's just a possibility, an idea of possibility. So the modal verb is might here, which is expressing an idea of possibility. Now let's move. Rohan may eat as many pies as he likes. Here, the modal verb may helps to express the idea of permission. Okay, he may eat as many as he likes. It's just a permission that it is on his intentions and on his own that he may eat. He's being allowed, he's being given permission that while coming home he can have as many pies he might like to have. There is no restriction. So he's being given the permission. So here modal verb may acts as an idea of permission of eating pies as much as he want. वो जितना pies चाहे उतना खाने के उसको as an idea of permission depict कर रहा है. Rohan should give you some of that pie given you bought it. Here the modal verb should helps to express the idea of obligation, that Rohan, whatever pie Rohan has purchased few pies and he will give pies he'll share those pies with the other person. Okay, so here should shows or expresses the idea of obligation, that he might do it, he should do it. It is his moral responsibility, it's your duty to do it. So modal verbs, they are also a form of auxiliary verbs which helps a verb to express certain ideas of possibility, ability, permission, obligations. Okay. The next is your phrasal verb. So basically phrasal verb are the verbs which is made up of one or more words. Okay. So phrasal verbs are usually, they have a meaning which is different from the main verb. They have a meaning, but it's being different from a main verb. Just look into the example here. A burglar will often break a window to break in. So here the phrasal verb is break in. Okay, it means to enter illegally, which is different to break, which is quite different to break. When I say the burglar will often break a window, when I say break a window, it means to break a window. Okay, एक खिड़की को तोड़ना. To break in, I am using a phrasal verb. Okay, यहाँ जो burglar will often break, यहाँ जो break है verb, it is the main verb, and this phrasal verb break in is quite different from it. Break in का मतलब है यहाँ पे किसी के यहाँ illegally enter करना, ठीक है? और ये break verb क्या बता रहा है कि he will break the window, वो window तोड़ेगा, to enter illegally. So there is a difference between the main verb and the phrasal verb. Let's take another example. If you drop the baton, the team will drop back to last place. Okay. So यहाँ पे कहना है कि if you drop the baton, okay. So अगर तुमने baton नीचे फेंक दिया, if you drop it, the team will drop back to last place. Here, exactly drop is the verb, main verb, and drop back is the phrasal verb. Here phrasal verb drop back means to fall behind. Okay, it means that if you drop the baton, अगर तुम यहाँ पे drop का मतलब हो गया गिरा देना. Okay, अगर तुम baton को गिरा दोगे तो तुम्हारी जो team है, it will fall behind. Drop back का मतलब हो गया fall behind, पीछे रह जाएगी, or it will come in the last place. So this drop back is bit different from the main verb drop. Okay, now let's see the next example, regular and irregular verbs. Let's see. First I'll be taking a regular verb. So what is a regular verb? It is one that ends in ed or d to indicate an action in the past. For example, my father sold his car. I didn't say my father sells his car. I'm not saying this. Okay, I'll just say my father sold this car. So when the verb is having a D at the end, so it is a regular verb. Okay. For example, I'm taking two more. Turn, turned. So here turned becomes a regular verb. Walk is the verb. Walked becomes regular verb because it is ending in ed or d. Now it is irregular verbs. The verbs that do not end in ed or d to indicate an action in the past is called irregular verb. This is also representing or indicating action which is taking place in the past, but it does not contain, the verb is not having a suffix d or ed. Okay, it is not having, after verb d or ed is not being added there. So they come under the category of irregular. For example, suppose I say verb sleep. So slept. It is the irregular. It is a irregular verb. Ate. Eat. I say ate. So it is a irregular verb. Sit. Sat. Rise. Rose. Risen. Okay, rise is the main verb. Is the verb here. But here rise, rose, risen. None of them have their ending with ed or d. So they are irregular verbs. Chose, chose, chosen. Okay, so here we don't have anywhere d or ed. So with this slide, we come to an end of the chapter on verbs. So let's just quickly recapitulate what we have done under verbs. Verb is basically action denoting verbs, action denoting words. In that, when we categorize it, different types of verb, not types, but categories: physical action, mental action, and state of being. Okay, so these mental and state of being all are your assumed ones, your beliefs. And physical action is which can be seen physically. Okay, so now we have, let's move to the state of another verb which is expressing state of mind, where you are not physically involved, you are mentally involved. Then comes your types of verbs, and here it is like, in types of verb, it is like your action verbs, stative verbs, transitive, intransitive, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, phrasal, regular, and irregular. So these are the types of verbs. And when we started looking at all the types of verbs, okay, so action, which denotes an action, physical activity is involved, like chasing, eating, all, they are action verbs. When I say stative verbs, your mental state or thought or emotion comes, that I am, I believes, I feel. So they are the stative verbs, where your mental ability or mental action is working on, your thoughts and feelings are acting as an action. So next comes your transitive, where you have a direct object, where a subject has a direct object, and where you question the verb, you identify the verb there and you question that verb, that what the action is going, where the action is moving from subject to an object. Okay, so then comes your intransitive verb, which is quite opposite of transitive, where we do not have a direct object. Okay, when I say rain fell, you cannot question your verb, that what, where. You cannot answer those questions there with them. Then is your auxiliary verbs, or the helping verbs, which helps the main verb to express a tense, voice, or a mood, like is, am, are. These are, now again, then comes here with your modal verbs. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are basically those verbs which, they are also auxiliaries, but they help in expressing ideas such as possibility, ability of one, giving permission to one, and obligations. Now after that, there is a phrasal verb, which main verb has a very different meaning with the phrasal verb, and both are being used in the sentence. Then comes your regular and irregular. Regular verbs, where your verb ends with ed or d. And irregular, then comes your irregular verb. Irregular verb, where your verb does not end with ed or d. It just, in a simply way, it's written, like sleep, slept. Okay, so this was all about verbs. I hope chapter on verb is clear to you all. Thank you. Take care.